If this is one of those days, I'm really glad you're here. This is Kallaborate, where joy becomes your foundation. Not the loud kind of joy, but the kind you build piece by piece after life changes everything. I'm Francene, and I'm walking this with you. Last time, we talked about the cost of choosing yourself. The boundaries, the leaving, the guilt, the ache that can remain. Even when you know protecting your peace was the right decision. Because choosing yourself can cost you belonging. But there's another part of choosing yourself. One that can be much quieter. You can leave what is unsafe. You can create boundaries. You can begin protecting your peace. And still, in dozens of small ways, continue leaving yourself behind. So today's question is this: what begins to change when you stop abandoning yourself? I wish I could tell you that once I began choosing myself, I never abandoned myself again. That would make a lovely ending. It just wouldn't be true. I still struggle with this daily. I still have moments when I put everyone else's happiness, comfort, needs, and schedules in front of my own. I still feel guilty wanting time to myself. I still hesitate to ask for help. I still sometimes treat my own needs as though they're optional. I know how to protect everyone else. I am still learning how to protect myself. For me, one of the biggest places that shows up is asking for help. I have a hard time trusting that other people will be there for me. So a lot of the time, I don't ask. Not because I don't need help. Not because I can always do everything myself. I don't ask because asking creates the possibility of being disappointed. And somewhere along the way, I decided it was easier not to ask than to feel the pain of being let down. When you don't ask, you can tell yourself you handled it. You can keep moving. You can remain the capable one, the dependable one, the person who doesn't need very much. But beneath all of that independence, there can be something else. A quiet belief that says, don't need too much. Don't expect too much. Don't give someone the opportunity to prove they won't be there. For a long time, I thought that was simply strength. Now I can see it was strength, and it was protection. Sometimes the things that protect us also keep us from receiving what we need. I also want to be fair here. There are people in my life who do show up. My little sister, friends who've been there when I truly needed them. People I am incredibly grateful for. I know I am not completely alone. But it still has to feel like a pretty big event before I'll ask someone to help me. And I find that sad. Not because there is anything wrong with being capable. I am capable. I have survived a lot by figuring things out. But I don't want survival to be the only reason I never let myself need anyone. I don't want disappointment from the past to make every decision about connection in the present. So I'm working on it. Not perfectly, not quickly, but I'm noticing. And sometimes noticing is where the change begins. I think self-abandonment can be difficult to recognize because it doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks responsible. Sometimes it looks generous. Sometimes it looks like keeping everyone else happy, so there's no conflict. It can look like saying, I don't care, you choose. Whatever everyone else wants is fine. I can do it myself. I don't need anything. It can look like waiting until everyone else is comfortable before allowing yourself to rest. It can look like promising yourself you will do something you enjoy after everything else is finished. But everything else is never completely finished. There is always one more person, one more task, one more responsibility, one more reason that your own life can wait. And then one day, you realize you have been present for everyone except yourself. My current solution is not especially glamorous. I put happy times on my calendar because I've learned that if I don't schedule them, they usually don't happen. I schedule time with friends, to see a play, go to a movie, or have dinner together. I schedule things I can look forward to. I have even scheduled time with myself. I once went to a hotel for a weekend so I could write. Just me, my thoughts, my words, and the space to hear them. Apparently, sometimes I need an actual reservation to spend time with myself. But I'm okay with that. Because putting something on my calendar says, this matters. This time belongs here. This person deserves a place in my life. And that person is me. I spent so many years making sure everyone else had a place in my day that deliberately making room for myself still feels unfamiliar. Sometimes it even feels selfish. But I'm beginning to understand that making room for myself is not the same as taking something away from everyone else. It's simply deciding that I belong in my own life too. The guilt does not come from nowhere. There are voices from my past that still try to join the conversation. Who do you think you are? You're not special. Why would anyone care about what you have to say? Those words were planted a long time ago. And even after all the work I've done, they still creep in. They show up when I try something new, when I share something personal, when I take time for myself, when I wonder if my voice matters. The difference now is that I recognize them. I know they're there. I know where they came from. And I know they are not the only voices allowed in the room anymore. I don't have to pretend they never speak. I just don't have to automatically believe them. I can hear, "Who do you think you are?" and answer, "I'm Francine, and I'm someone who has lived through things that gave me a perspective no one else has in exactly the same way. I am imperfect. I am honest. I genuinely want people to find joy. And I believe what I've learned may help someone feel less alone. That doesn't mean everyone will understand me. It doesn't mean everyone will listen. It doesn't mean everyone will stay. My voice does not need to reach everyone to matter. It only needs to reach the people it was meant for." One of the things I've always loved about people is that no two of us are alike. Every person carries a different combination of experiences, strengths, dreams, questions, mistakes, and ways of seeing the world. Sometimes we call the unusual parts of ourselves flaws. The things that are too loud, too quiet, too emotional, too curious, too complicated, too different. But I don't think those pieces automatically make us wrong. I think they are often part of the magic that makes each person unmistakably themselves. When I say someone is perfect the way they are, I don't mean they've never made mistakes. I don't mean they never have anything left to learn. I mean they are whole, human, worthy. They do not have to erase everything unique about themselves to earn love. And neither do I. That is one of the things I'm still learning, when those old voices tell me to stay small. For a long time, I thought loving myself first would make me selfish. I thought it meant I would care less about other people, that I would stop being generous, that I would become someone who only thought about herself. But what I'm learning is almost the opposite. When I make room for myself, I can show up more honestly. I can be present instead of quietly resentful or completely exhausted. I can give because I want to, not because I am afraid of what will happen if I don't. I can bring more of my authentic self into the room because I haven't left all of her somewhere else. Loving yourself does not have to mean loving anyone else less. Sometimes it means you finally stop excluding yourself from the love you so freely give away. Stopping self-abandonment doesn't always begin with a huge decision. Sometimes it begins with something almost ordinary. Listening to the music you love, reading the book you choose, watching the movie you actually want to see, sitting quietly without immediately finding something useful to do, taking yourself somewhere, allowing your body to rest, talking to yourself with the same kindness you would offer someone you love. These things may sound simple, and they are, but simple does not mean meaningless, especially when you've spent years believing your wants should always come last. Choosing the music can matter. Choosing the movie can matter. Putting your own name on the calendar can matter. Because each small choice says, I am listening. I am here. I'm not leaving you again. Maybe you recognize yourself somewhere in this. Maybe you're the one everyone calls because they know you'll show up. Maybe you rarely call anyone because you're not sure they will do the same. Maybe you are always making sure everyone else is happy while quietly telling yourself that you can wait. Maybe wanting time alone makes you feel guilty. Maybe asking for help feels more vulnerable than doing something difficult by yourself. Maybe you have become so good at needing nothing that even you no longer know what you need. There is nothing wrong with you for learning to survive that way. Those patterns may have protected your heart when protection was necessary. But maybe now your heart is trying to tell you something else. Maybe the longing for peace, love, joy, rest, or time that belongs to you is not selfishness. Maybe it's your heart pointing you back toward yourself. So just for a moment, notice where you are. Notice your hands, your breath, the space around you. Nothing has to change right now. You do not have to solve your whole life. You do not have to undo every pattern today. Just ask yourself one quiet question. What do I need from me? Not what does everyone else need. Not what should I be doing. Not what would make everyone comfortable. What do I need from me? Maybe no answer comes yet. That's okay. The question itself may be a beginning. I used to think joy would appear when everything else was finally handled, when everyone was okay, when the responsibilities were finished, when no one needed anything from me. But that day does not really come. Life keeps happening. People keep needing things. Calendars keep filling. So now I make room for joy on purpose. A play, a movie, dinner with a friend, a hotel room, and a blank page. Not because everything else is finished, because my life is happening too. Joy is not something I lost. It's something I rebuilt. And sometimes rebuilding joy looks like refusing to leave yourself out of your own life. So today, I'm not going to give you a list of things to fix. I'm simply going to leave you with this. Notice one small place where you might be leaving yourself behind. Maybe it is the help you need but are afraid to ask for. Maybe it's the rest you keep postponing. Maybe it's the music you stopped playing. Maybe it's the words you keep swallowing. Maybe it's the time you keep giving away before deciding whether you need some of it too. You don't have to change everything. Small, steady, repetitive steps forward. One kind thought. One honest answer. One choice that includes you. Be one of the people you love. You deserve you too. Next time, we will slow down together for a Say Their Name episode, a space to remember the people we carry with us, to speak their names out loud, to remind the world they were here. They mattered. They are not forgotten. If there's someone you would like remembered, you can email me at ms.treasure@kallaborate.com. Just their name, or one sentence about who they are to you, is enough. We will remember them together. If some part of this conversation felt familiar today, I'm really glad we found each other. You do not have to stop abandoning yourself all at once. Maybe today you simply notice. Maybe tomorrow you make one small choice that includes you. And maybe, piece by piece, you begin showing up in your own life as faithfully as you've shown up in everyone else's. We'll keep walking together, one conversation at a time. I see you. If you're rebuilding one piece at a time, follow Kallaborate wherever you listen to podcasts and be part of the conversations ahead.